Greetings and welcome to this edition of
Positronic Hypersonic.
Positronic hypersonic.
Positronic Hypersonic.
I'm Barry P. Cook, and I'm here to talk to you about the latest episodes of Daredevil Born Again. That's right, I said episodes plural because we got 2 this week, so let's get into it. The first episode was episode 5. It was called With Interest, and as it starts, Matt meets with a banker about a loan for his law firm, and since the bank man is Miss Marvel's dad, they talk about Miss Marvel for a moment before talking about the legal system and about how the bank is not going to be able to approve the loan application. The same bank is then robbed violently, which Matt hears while walking down the street after having left the bank, and then goes back. He manages to get one of the robbers a loan after the police show up and try to negotiate the release of the hostages, and frankly kicks the guy's ass while the assistant manager, Mr. Khan, tries to open the vault at gunpoint for one of the robbers. Matt rescues him next and then uses his expert hearing to open the vault so they can give the robbers a false belief that they're in control by giving them something from the vault. When all was said and done, it seems that they were after a diamond, and Matt seemingly gives it to them but switches it out at the last second before going after the leader and kicking his ass, and then leaving the diamond with Mr. Khan in the aftermath of the police raiding the bank and saving the hostages. And that's where that episode ended. There's a lot of stuff that happened in the episode that didn't really impact the story all that much, the kind of little details and little moments. So I kind of left those out, but that's the gist of most of the episode. The second episode was episode 6. It was called Excessive Force. As the episode starts, the city is reacting to the doings of the villain Muse, which include murals of human blood, one of which insults the mayor, and we find Matt praying in his apartment while thinking of recent events. Meanwhile, the mayor is visited by a member of one of the crime families as Matt's girlfriend tells Matt about her upcoming meeting with the editor of her book or article that she's writing about vigilantes, and asks him for help contacting Frank Castle, aka the Punisher, for an interview. The crime family member refuses to make good on a debt to another crime family despite Fisk insisting he do so. White Tiger's niece Angela shows up at Matt's firm to talk to Matt and tell him that her uncle was onto something related to the missing people that Muse has been draining for his work, but Matt says he can't do anything about it. At a meeting between Fisk and the police, it seems that Muse has drained at least 60 people. Fisk then attends a fundraiser attended by the city's elites, which Vanessa tells him is playing right into their hands because they only want reassurance of their importance from him. And based on their behavior, it seems she was right. Matt's investigator, meanwhile, tells him about Muse's activity and about how the cops seem to have realized that Muse is their guy. Fisk sets up an anti-vigilante, anti-Muse task force with special permissions and special authorities made up of Punisher adherents. Angela goes into the subway near Frank's hideout, and when her worried mother calls Matt, he goes out as Daredevil to find her. Meanwhile, she's been grabbed by Muse. Fisk visits Adam in the dungeon and gives him an axe before leaving his cell open as Muse starts draining Angela before being attacked by Daredevil, while Fisk and Adam fight until Adam is unconscious and gets dragged back into his cell. Before the episode ends, Matt strangles Muse to unconsciousness and resuscitates Angela, who has been drained of a whole bunch of her blood and who had, I guess, kind of died like right there on the table. And that's where that episode ended. So I really liked both of these episodes. I know I kind of gave the first episode of the night short shrift in my breakdown because not a lot of eventful stuff happens. It's a lot of minute to minute small stuff that happens, but it's very cool. It's, basically a heist episode where Matt is there as a hostage, which he made himself on purpose so that he could get inside the bank and help people. And it's like a cat and mouse episode where he's trying to not reveal his abilities and all of that, but at the same time help the hostages and make sure nobody gets hurt until the very end when he puts his actual plan into motion, which I guess was to try to get one of the robbers alone so he could take him out and get his gun. And at that point, it really kicks into action. There was a couple of cool fight scenes in this episode, actually, and one particularly brutal one when he ends up kicking the guy's ass at the end, the leader of the robbers. So I did like that episode. I did also like that Yusef Khan was in the episode, Kamala Khan's dad, because I really liked the Miss Marvel show, and I liked the family on the show, and the father's a cool character. So it was cool to see him again and be reminded of the Miss Marvel show, which I really liked. It was a really, I thought, sweet show with a lot of heart. And, it's always good to see Matt kick ass. There hasn't been a lot of that in these, there wasn't a lot of that, I should say, in the first 4 episodes. So it was good to see it in this one. And then we got more of it in the second episode, which I thought was a stronger episode because, we got to see what Muse is up to. And the reveal that he had drained like 60 people to make all these murals was pretty crazy. And to see him and Matt fight, with Matt finally back in the Daredevil suit after 5 no-suit episodes, was very cool. And I'm kind of hoping they're not done with Muse because I think he's a creepy-ass villain. And I think that's really cool. We know that Angela is going to, well, at least in the comics, becomes White Tiger. So I wonder if they're going to do that in this series. That would be cool. So there's that whole thing. And, the goings on at City Hall and in Fisk's life continue to fascinate me. This whole idea where he's holding Adam hostage. I went into detail last week about how that reminded me of a movie that I saw a number of years ago and that I thought was super like creepy and dark. And they kind of went there on this series in a similar direction, and it's just crazy. And this week they furthered it where now, okay, not only is he holding this guy, but he takes him out of his cage and kicks his ass at some degree of frequency and then throws him back in the cell. Just insane, especially because he gives him a weapon but still kicks his ass. It's just nuts, and it goes to show how crazy Fisk is still in there and that he comes out to play every now and then, even though during the day as mayor, he keeps a lid on all of it. So he's a really complex character in this series, just as he was in the original Daredevil series, and I think that's great. And Vincent D'Onofrio is just doing a fantastic job in the part, which of course he did previously, and that's not a surprise. So it's just great. So I'm really liking the show, and I'm looking forward to next week's episode. For now, I'm going to get out of here. I'll be back with another video soon. Until I return, I wish you peace and long life.